All right, good evening and welcome to Iyun Benzion, Yevamos, Daf Yutet number 19. It's going to be a short one today. It was a very difficult daf today, and Baruch Hashem was able to do it under a half an hour, with 5 minutes talking about my new cocktail. If you want to learn about my new cocktail, refer to my shir on the daf, just daf it. I want to talk today, the Gemara has a conclusion, just explain further what I talked about yesterday in Iyun with Benzion. We have a machlokas Rabbanan or Rabbi Shimon about Eish Sachar Shalei Haya Bolamo. Rabbanan holds, even if there's a middle brother, right? There's three brothers, Reuven, Shimon, and Levi. Reuven and Shimon are contemporary brothers. Reuven dies. He leaves a wife over for Shimon. Shimon then does Yibum, and then Levi is born. Or the second case is where he doesn't do Yibum yet. Levi is born, and then he does Yibum before he dies, and then Shimon dies. So the Rabban hold in either case that she's considered to be that wife, the original wife of Reuven, Klape Levi, who was not in his world together. They were not contemporary brothers. She's considered Eish Sa'ako Shalaya Bolamo. She's an Erva, like it says in our first Mishnah. She would pater the Sarah, she pater Shimon's wife. And that's it. You don't need Chalitza or Yibum. That's the Rabban. Rabbi Shimon holds, seemingly yesterday, we assumed that Rabbi Shimon, that it wouldn't make a difference. In both of the cases, as long as Shimon does Yibum before he dies to Reuven's original wife, so therefore he removes the status of Eish Za'achav Shalaya Ba'olamo. It's considered that original wife of Reuven is not Eish Za'achav Shalaya Ba'olamo, and therefore he can do Yibum. It's considered Shimon's wife. He can do Yibum to one of them. He has two wives. If your brother dies, he has two wives. You do Yibum to one, or Chalitza to one, and Pater to the other one. That's Rabbi Shimon's Shita. The Gemara today challenges its notion and concludes on Daf Yutem the base where Shimon only argues in one case. He only argues in the case where Shimon married Reuven's wife, he did Yibum on her, and then Levi was born. If she was already she was not yet married to Shimon when Levi was born, and then Shimon married her, and then he died, then she would still, even according to Shimon, she would retain the status of Eish Zachar Shalaya Bolamo. She would retain the status of Eish Zachar Shalaya Bolamo. So that's what Shimon says. Now, we explained the machlokas yesterday. Just to clarify this machlokas, the way I explained it, I wanted to say is that, again, that there's no such thing. Eish Zachar Shalaya Bolamo is not a byproduct of, we know there's an issue of Eish Zach. You can't marry your brother's wife, no matter but there's a Mishnah, there's a pasuk in the Torah, Yevamos Yavo, you could do Yibum, mitzvah Yibum. So what do you do? There's mitzvah Yibum, and this is a kari, Eish Zach. You can't marry your brother's wife. So most people explain, if it's makom mitzvah, that's what the Torah is saying. It's makom mitzvah. If it's exact details of the Torah, it talks about in Dvarim Chafhei, so then they're olam echad, paternal brothers. So then there's a mitzvah of Yibum, and there's no karis. That's makom mitzvah. The Torah mattered it. And if it's not, if you weren't yeshiva achad ba'olam, so then it would be karis. We go back to the other din of karis. Makom mitzvah is considered mutter legamre, and shalom mitzvah is karis. I want to say no, that's not the pshat. The pshat is that the Torah, when it gives the mitzvah of Yibum, it tells you that when the conditions are right, the mitzvah of Yibum is worth it, even though you're chayav karis. Kind of a scary thing to say. Even the Torah says it's worth it, because we have to make hard decisions in life. Sometimes you make hard decisions, right? There's no right way to make the choice, but there's one better way to make the choice. Both things are going to lead to something which are negative consequences, but you have to make one choice, so you make the choice that's better. That's what Torah is telling you. This is the better choice to make. The mitzvah of Yibum overrides the fact that you'll be chayav karis. Anyway, so in order to make the distinction, I wanted to say that the Isra of Eish Zach is different than the mitzvah of Yibum. It uses the word Eish Achiv or something like that, or Eish Zach. I don't remember the word in Parshas Vayikra, in Emor, in Sefer Vayikra, Parshas Emor. Not Parshas Achremos. In Devarim, when it says the mitzvah, Achim, it says Achim. So Achim, I wanted to say, is that means your brother, meaning something else than a different way of brotherhood. There's two ways of saying the word brother, right? Brother could mean that he's, you have a blood relative. You share the same father, right? You share the same parents or the same father, or he's, you say bro, hey bro, bro, you say your best friend or a friend of yours, say bro. Your brother is your companion, your friend. He's your friend. And the mitzvah of Yibum is for friends. It's basically it's brotherhood, but it's not the blood relationship that's mechayiv you. It's having plus the blood relationship plus companionship plus a reis. And that's why when you're not when you're not contemporary with your brother, you never live together. Technically, of course, you're brothers, and the kari still applies. But you're not considered to be a companion with your brother. You never live together. You don't know your brother. Reuven doesn't know Levi. Levi doesn't know Reuven. So therefore, you can never be achim. You never be. And that's exactly what the Gemara says in Zion and Beis. The Gemara says it talks about Lot, and the Gemara says if it could have said when Avram and Lot, it could have said Reim, because Reim is the same thing as achim. The Rishonim asked, what do you mean Reim is the same thing as achim? And therefore, it said achim is an extra word to teach you a drasha. Reim is not the same thing as achim. I'm saying achim when it says achim in the Torah, not achav or ach. Achim, it's telling you it means both brotherhood, and it means also a blood relationship. It also means companionship. So you say, bro, it's your friend, companionship. So we explain them. Rabbanan and Rabbi Shimon, as the Rabbanan hold that Shimon, when he marries her, doesn't matter. It doesn't help. It doesn't link you. It doesn't make you a brother. It doesn't make you a companion. Reuven and Levi can never be companions because they never lived. Even though Shimon sort of links them because Shimon was alive both during Reuven's lifetime and during Levi's lifetime, he can never connect the two. According to Rabbanan, and therefore they never considered Achim, so there's no mitzvah of Yibum. That's the way I explain. There's no mitzvah of Yibum according to Rabbanan. And Shimon holds, the way we're explaining is that he links them because Shimon married Reuven's wife, and he was alive both in Reuven's lifetime and Levi's lifetime, so therefore he links them, and Levi and Reuven are considered brothers. They're considered companions. Somehow he links them and considers them companions. I want to suggest now, based on the conclusion of our Gemara today, that we're going to have to rearrange it and say that even according to Shimon, everyone agrees, even Rabbi Shimon would agree, that you're not considered brothers. You never live together. You're not companions. You have blood relationship. That's what Ishra Ishazach applies. You're a brother because you share a father. You're blood relatives, but you're never companions. Everyone agrees. Rabbanan and Shimon never agrees you're companions. The only machlokes in Shimon and Rabbanan is one case. The case is where Shimon went ahead and married Reuven's wife before Levi was born. Once he marries her, so that's where Shimon's arguing. Shimon's arguing in that case. Because in that case, even though he's not your brother, but that's where Shimon's saying, he becomes Shimon's wife. That's about those Rabbanan and Shimon. Rabbanan the whole, she's still called Reuven's wife. She still calls Reuven's wife, so it's Eish actually Yevamos. But Shimon holds, no, if he marries her before, so Klapi Levi, she's only called Shimon's wife. She loses a status, right? When you marry someone else, a woman, her husband dies, and another man marries her, right? Some women take on a second name. They continue their relationship. They take on the second name. They keep their old husband's first name, and they take their new husband's last name. Their old husband's last name, and they take their new husband's last name also, both of them. But Shimon holds no, that you just take the last husband's last name, and she's completely the woman, the wife of Shimon, and Shimon was contemporary with Levi, so therefore it's not Eish actually according to Shimon, and according to Rabbanan, even in that case, it would still be cool. She still retains the status of Eish of Reuven's wife. Maybe you should call your husband after coming in, whether you're practical or on vacation. You should call a woman to remarry. She should retain. We pass on the Rabbanan. You retain the original name of your first husband. I don't know if it's necessarily related to this distinction I'm making, but that's what it is. Shimon. Everyone agrees that they're not contemporary brothers, they're not companions. The question is whether when you become Shimon, when she marries Shimon before Levi is born, so therefore it's completely called Shimon's wife. We're not called Reuven's wife. There you got it. That's the machlokas. Hope you enjoy. See you tomorrow.